say, welcome. This is my Power of You course assignment in having a friend interview me based on 8 questions for the assignment. And I have been able to coerce, convince Linda Fostek of Long Island, the crisis planner, that she would be the one who would best fit into this assignment. She would most likely allow me to take some time out of her busy life as the crisis planner and author of Shit Happens. So she's helping me out greatly, and I appreciate it. Anyways, this is saying my internet connection is unstable, so that's never happened before, but that's okay. We'll see what happens. So go ahead with the questions, and I'll...
Okay. Well, Filomena, the first question on this list is, what are some of the times that you've been the happiest?
I think that's really common for all of us, is falling in love. That is, chemically, it's the best high, the endorphins, falling in love with your children, falling in love, getting married. I had my only daughter at 33, and I never thought that there would be anything better than that until she tells me that I'm going to be a grandmother. So now I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm just happy talking about it. I'm happiest when I'm talking about being happy even. So the other thing that makes me happy is when I am traveling. Ever since I was brought to this country at 2.5 years old with my mother, my older sister, and my older brother, I've had this wanderlust that I've wanted to travel and meet people. Actually, I've got to stop using my hand as part of the Italian. Visiting Italian relatives has been crazy happy for me. I guess that's it. And actually, the picture behind me is a picture I bought at an auction a year, maybe 6 years before I went to Italy to visit my cousins in Margozzo. And then the year I came back, it was 2010. I am walking past this picture in my hallway. It's now in another room right here, but I thought, wow, that place looks so familiar. When I went to look, it was Lago Magiore. I had been there. And little did I know that I bought the picture at auction because I was so drawn to it. So I find I'm so happy when I am traveling, and then all of a sudden happier when I see the things that I'm drawn to have a future purpose or vision of what's, it was amazing. Anyways, so I'm happy traveling.
It's a mini vision board. It was a mini vision board.
It was one of those pre-visions. I had a vision of this place I was going to visit. Then I visited when I came back and saw it. It's amazing. So happiness is that. And recently just gathering vegetables in the garden to cook, green beans and cutting tomatoes. I'm just a happy person, I guess. It's easy.
I think so.
Easy to make me happy. So.
Okay, the second question is, what's a failure or mistake that you've made, and what did you learn from it?
Well, again, falling in love, learning that no matter how much I want someone to love me, they have other ideas too. So long-term relationships that I wished had hoped ended differently, that didn't turn out, have just inspired me to love myself more than I love anything else, and want more for myself than just settling. So I think that's taught me that I don't have to want someone to love me so much that I forget who I am, and that I'm not aligned with my own vision because I want to be what the other person wants me to be. So there's an old saying, if I am me because of you and you are you because of me, then I am not and you are not. So trying to be what someone else wants you to be just doesn't work. So I've learned that about that personal life. And business-wise, I've learned that if you're going to lend somebody money, you either have to let go of how they spend it, or be very sure that if you're a business partner, that they allow you to be uh, part of the decision making in how it gets spent. So, and I've learned in doing that, the latter part, lending someone the money and waiting for it to come back, it has helped me realize that I can get out of the debt mentality, and I can also help my coaching clients get out of debt financially as well as in their mindset, the debt mentality,
Mm-hmm.
which was frightening. You know, every day there was anxiety about meeting the 15 deadlines that I had to meet all month long, and holding your breath. And finally I said, you know, this is unhealthy. I've got to just have more faith. Whatever happens is out of my control. You know, that old serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity
Yeah.
to change what I can, or to not, to realize I can't change what I can't change, and the courage to change what I can change, and the wisdom to know the difference, basically, if I remember all those years ago. So, yeah, so it's helped me financially and emotionally learn a lot of great things about myself.
Yeah, we learn from our failures for sure. Describe some of your proudest moments.
Oh, well, especially before my daughter was born, I thought my proudest moment was graduating from college, one of the only 6 children in the family that graduated. I just loved learning. I was one of those kids that wanted to go to school, and so badly my mother would say, she would use it as a disciplinary tool. So she'd say, you're not going to go to school tomorrow if you're not good a girl. You're not a good girl. And she's, of course, Italian, trying to mimic my mother's Italian accent. So when I graduated from college, I was really, really proud of myself, especially since I hadn't been in school for 7 years. I graduated from high school and then 7 years went to the School of Hard Knocks, the University of Hard Knocks, and realized that was a dead end street. So coming back from a very bad relationship, went into college and graduated, became the CPA, passed the CPA exam. I was really proud of that because I was older than a lot of other students. And then basically watching my daughter grow up, making great choices, and realizing that no matter what I did to help that and inspire her and somehow influence her, she really is her own person. And I'm not living through her, but I'm living because of how she's living. I'm living more joyfully because of how she's living. So,
Very cool. So, who is your favorite childhood mentor, and what did you learn from him or her? And choose from like a teacher, a coach, a family member, or a group leader that influenced you.
yes, and there's so many of them. As I said, I love learning. So my first mentors were my teachers. In first grade, Mrs. McSheehy had asked me to help the other students with their phonics because I just loved A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. And, actually I have all those vowels in my name. So it was funny that it happened that way, A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. I had to get the Y in my name subconsciously. My first husband's last name ended in a Y, and so did my daughter's father. I married him, and his name ended in a Y. I didn't plan it that way, but it was upon reflection, years later, I went, oh my God, was I setting myself up in first grade? So my school teachers were really mentors. Jumping ahead, when I got into college, my freshman year, Dennis Moore had sent out letters before emails were around, sent out letters to all of his freshman students and had asked them to be prepared to come to school the first day of class with a list of 100 things they wanted to do with their life, wanted to have, be, do. Or that was the beginning of my love of the bucket list. I didn't know that was a bucket list. And then later I called myself a bucket list because I want to help people find what it is to put in their bucket and fund ways to make those happen, make that happen. Their bucket list. I loved that. So that's about the mentors. Of course, my mother has always been a great mentor, struggling through the leaving her family as a young woman to come to another country. We keep in touch with old family in Italy with letters, and I still have all those old letters, reading what's happening in their life through letters. So she was a mentor to know that no matter how far away you are from your family, if you keep them in your heart, you can survive anything. So my mother, my family.
And that leads into the next question, which really, what has the unique history of your family taught you? I think that kind of dovetails a little bit with where you started, you were talking about your mom.
It does. I'm a numbers person. I'm crazy for numbers. I'm a former CPA, and I look back at coming to this country. I realized that I am a foreigner. Well, I'm an immigrant, but I'm a naturalized citizen. I realized why I am so sensitive, and when I hear the American patriotic songs or, the national anthem, I sing at Rotary, I cry. It's just amazing how wonderful and beautiful America is, the land of the free and home of the brave, and how people are not realizing it until it's almost too late for them. They take it for granted unless they're from another country and they see the opportunities here are immense. So what I've learned is that America is beautiful, a beautiful place to live, and it can be more awesome if you stop making excuses for why you're not where you are, or why you don't have what you have. Making excuses will never make you money, and excusing, even if you have failures, using that as an excuse will never make you a success. So getting beyond that, and I've learned that blaming others in the family for having gone down the wrong path, then that doesn't work either. A personal part of the family who blamed a lot of his issues on the family, but yet, there are 6 children. We didn't all turn out that way. So it wasn't the family, and it wasn't the way we were brought up. It was our response to how we were reared. So that's it. Probably making excuses will never make you money. Blaming others will never grow relationships. So.
Now, tell me a few of your never agains. You'll never do that again.
God, I don't. I'm one of those people that say never, because I said I would never lend money to a stranger, because ever since I was 16, I actually have lent money to many people, and have received most of it back. So I don't want to say I'll never lend money, because I probably will. But never invest or risk more than I know I can do without. And if it doesn't come back to me, not to have so much anxiety that it paralyzes me from moving forward. I like to say it's my MoMA moment. That is MoMA moment. It's a trigger word I use. It's an acronym, of course. MO is to move out of old spaces in my head, spaces in my heart. Move into new spaces, new places. Go someplace that really feels good. And then move on and move ahead. MOMI. Move on. So MoMA is a way that I pull myself forward out of these never say never situations. I actually call them habituation. So that's habituation. It's a bitch of a situation. So that's one of those never again. Never invest or risk more than I'm willing to lose. Actually, my license plate says SAFEMNY, safe money. So all of my strategies now are only safe money strategies, which is fixed indexed products where you can't lose money. The money grows with the market, but it doesn't get lost when the market goes down. So then I'll feel much more comfortable and at ease with helping clients financially fund their bucket list. So, yeah.
Okay. So if you could go back in time and give your younger self advice in high school, what would you say? How does the same advice apply to you right now?
And I will tell you that ever since I was a little girl, I love singing. So right off the bat is to find your voice. Find your voice and stand up for yourself. I'm a middle child, so I've had to stand up for both sides of my siblings too. And yet finding my voice, there were times that I couldn't find it. And standing up for myself when someone wanted to abuse me, I was really proud to remember looking back that I wasn't abused because because of them. I was abused because I allowed it. So I have to take responsibility for that as well. It wasn't my fault that they initiated it, but it was up to me as how I was going to stop it. So stand up for yourself, find your power. And today I still want to find a stronger sense of self-concept, more alignment with great energy, developing higher competencies so I can exchange that in the marketplace, and then helping myself by support systems, finding the right support system to be in that environment with the right processes, the right places to be with that help me become more happy, and the right people to be with. So those are my support systems. Today, I still am working toward those, with those, and I haven't given up on that. Developing great SECS, S-E-C-S, self-concept, great energy, competencies, and support system.
Cool. And the last question is, it's 20 years in the future. You've achieved some of your greatest dreams. What advice does your future self have for you right now at this moment?
Well, I'm going to still keep looking up. I'm looking out the window right now because I can see the lake. And I think as long as I have faith, I'm full of faith, that there's faith comes from this knowing, and knowing that the better days are coming. If it's not today, just let it go. It will be coming. And having faith that that's actually going to happen, and commit to that. There's a great poem, and I mentioned this to you at one other time. I may have to read it, but it's called Until One Is Committed. And it is by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Let me just take a few minutes. It's actually the last 2 minutes here. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy. The chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from that decision, raising in one's favor all manners of unforeseen incidences, meetings, and material assistance which no one could have ever imagined would have come his or her way. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. It has been one of my favorite poems. I used to teach this at a high school level as well, because if you're faithful, you can make this commitment. You know, when you're not sure of what's going to happen, it's hard to commit. But as soon as you have the faith, then the clarity, the confidence, and the courage starts to appear. So thank you for helping me with this assignment, Linda.
It was my pleasure. And I got to learn a lot more things about my friend Filomena today.
Well, it is great. I think these are wonderful questions to help our friends ponder. And then we share those answers and go, wow, that's developed a deeper sense of a support system. Now you know me authentically, not just someone you saw at the business function and know how and telling you about my successes. This is really a personal level. So thank you very much. And I'm going to start the recording so we can say goodbye. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.